17,000 islands, 279 million people. One heartbeat, Indonesia. A nation where mountains breathe fire, where oceans whisper between worlds, where tradition and modern dreams walk side by side. From the chaos of Jakarta's traffic to the quiet of Bali's rice terraces. From Papua's rainforest thunder to Sumatra's coffee mist. This is not one story. It's 10,000 woven together. Indonesia, the land of diversity. Geography and people. Stretching more than 5,000 kilometers along the equator. Indonesia is the largest archipelago on Earth. More than 100 active volcanoes rise from its sea. And its people, over 300 ethnic groups, speak more than 700 languages. Yet one language unites them, Bahasa Indonesia. One flag, one dream. Culture and faith. 87% Muslim, but also Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, Confucian. 6 faiths recognized, many more respected. They live by a motto older than their constitution. Unity in diversity. Mosques call at dawn. Temples glow at dusk. Gamelan echoes between. In Bali, offerings of flowers float downriver. In Yogyakarta, artists carve stories into shadow puppets. In Aceh, fishermen pray before the tide. Politeness is not formality here. It's protection, a language of peace. They call it Gotong Royong, mutual help, community before self. Economy and Vision 2025. Indonesia, Southeast Asia's largest economy. GDP around 1.6 trillion US dollars. Growth steady at 5%. The pillars: manufacturing, mining, agriculture, tourism, and technology. Startups rise from Jakarta's glass towers. Farmers harvest rice beneath the same sun. Jakarta's skyline shows ambition. Bali's temples balance. Between them, the soul of Indonesia. Visas and welcome. Travel is easy. For most nations, entry is visa-free for 30 days. Extended to 60 for 35 US dollars. Work permits, taquitas for employees and investors. Student visas for those who come to learn. And now, a digital nomad visa. 5 years tax-free for remote workers. The doors are open. The welcome, genuine. Everyday life. Morning, the call to prayer. Scooters roar awake. Street vendors serve fried bananas and coffee sweet as sunrise. Rain on tin roofs, neon lights and puddles. They call it jam, carrot rubber time. Schedules bend. Patience stretches. Life flows. Short pause, rain sound. Reality and resilience. Yes, there are floods. Yes, there are power cuts. Yes, there's traffic that defies logic. But there's also a smile after every storm. Neighbors who share rice. Communities that rebuild before the water dries. In Indonesia, resilience isn't heroic. It's normal. Before we go deeper into the truth of living here, take a second to support the journey. Hit like so more people discover Indonesia's real story. Subscribe for cinematic documentaries that go beyond tourism. And share this film with someone who dreams of life under the tropical sun. This is the dream, the beginning of a journey through the world's most diverse archipelago. Next, we face the reality, the true cost of living and working in Indonesia. Cost of living and work in Indonesia 2025. Every paradise has its price. And in Indonesia, the cost isn't measured only in rupiah. It's measured in rhythm. Indonesia remains one of Asia's most affordable nations. But how much you spend depends on how you choose to live. Jakarta, Bali, Surabaya. Fast, loud, expensive. Yogyakarta, Solo, Medan. Slow, peaceful, affordable. Asterisk. Let's talk numbers. Real numbers. The kind that matter when you call a place home. Average monthly costs for a single person in Jakarta, rent for a 1-bedroom apartment, about 6.5 million rupiah. That's around 410 US dollars. Add groceries, transport, and utilities, and your monthly total hits 13 million rupiah, roughly $820. In Bali, paradise costs a little more, around 15 million rupiah a month, about $950. In Yogyakarta, life slows down and the price drops. 8.5 million rupiah a month, about $540. Electricity and water, 600,000. Internet and mobile, 400,000. Fuel or grab rides, around 1 million rupiah each month. Groceries, 3 to 4 million. A meal at a local warung, 20 to 30,000. That's less than $2. A cup of coffee, 30,000 rupiah, $2 for a moment of calm. You can live comfortably in Indonesia for around $800 to $1,200 a month. But comfort here is not about money. It's about mindset. Housing. Most apartments come semi-furnished. Air conditioning is essential. Hot water, optional. In Jakarta, a modern studio with gym and pool costs 7 to 12 million a month. In Bali, a private villa surrounded by rice fields starts at 9 million. In Yogyakarta, a one-room house can cost just 3 million. Work and income. Indonesia's minimum wage in 2025, 5.3 million rupiah in Jakarta, about $335. 2.8 million in Bali, $175. The national average? 3.2 million. But skilled locals and expats earn more. Local professionals, 7 to 12 million. Foreign employees, 25 to 40 million. Remote freelancers? Their income depends on the world, not the island. And if your income comes from abroad, the digital nomad visa lets you live tax-free for up to 5 years. Job sectors. Tourism remains king. 13 million international visitors came in 2024. Hotels, cafes, diving schools, content creators, yoga teachers, they all find work under the tropical sun. Then comes tech. Jakarta and Bandung, new digital hubs of Southeast Asia. Startups like Gojek and Tokopedia power a new economy. Education is steady. English teachers earn 15 to 25 million a month. You'll need a bachelor's degree, a TFL certificate, and patience for paperwork. Mining and industry offer higher pay, but far from cities. While Bali's creative economy grows on connection, not contracts. Work culture. In Indonesia, time bends like bamboo. Meetings start late. Deadlines are flexible. And yes often means maybe. Hierarchy matters. Respect matters more. The boss speaks last. The junior listens first. Family always comes before work. Harmony always before confrontation. Foreigners who adapt, they flourish. Those who don't, they fade. Banking and money. Major banks, BCA, Mandiri, BNI, and BRI. To open an account, you'll need a KITAS, your residence permit. Cash is still king. But digital wallets, OVO, GoPay, Dana, rule daily life. Pay for taxis, meals, even a barber, all by phone. Tips are small. Smiles are large. Inflation and stability. Prices rise slowly. Inflation in 2024 stayed around 2.8%. The rupiah stands steady, 15,600 to the dollar. Rice, fuel, electricity, all steady. The government keeps daily life predictable. And predictability here is peace. The balance. Living in Indonesia means learning trade-offs. Low cost, high patience. Slow pace, quick smiles. Here, comfort doesn't mean perfection. It means acceptance. When Wi-Fi drops, you look at the sunset. When traffic stops, you breathe. When plans fail, you laugh. Because in Indonesia, control is an illusion. But contentment is a skill. This is the reality, the rhythm beneath the dream. Next, we explore the heart of Indonesia's learners. The students, the dreamers, and the ones who come to study and stay. Learning in Indonesia isn't only about books. It's about balance between wisdom and humility, between ambition and patience, between community and self. This is where education is not just a system. It's a story of how a nation grows. The landscape of learning. Indonesia educates over 50 million students across 270,000 schools. It's one of the largest education networks on Earth. Primary school is mandatory. High school is optional, but encouraged. University is a privilege. Public education is free through grade 9. After that, families share the cost. In cities, schools are modern, air-conditioned. Higher education and universities. Indonesia is home to over 4,000 universities, a mix of public, private, and Islamic institutions. The best-known names: Universitas Indonesia, UI, in Jakarta; Gajah Mada University, UGM, in Yogyakarta; Bandung Institute of Technology, ITB; Airlangga University, in Surabaya; Bina Nusantara, BNUS, private and digital-focused. Tuition for international students is affordable. At public universities, 15 to 25 million Indonesian rupiah per year, around US $1,000,1600. Language? Most bachelor's programs are in Bahasa Indonesia, but postgraduate and exchange programs increasingly offer English tracks. For example, the University of Indonesia runs more than 100 English taught courses, and online platforms like Merdeka Campus blend local study with foreign internships. Student life. Life as a student here is more than lectures. It's about learning to live together. Dormitories cost between 800,000 Indonesian rupiah and 1.5 million a month, about $50, 100. Private apartments are double. Canteens serve rice, tempeh noodles. A full meal for 15 Indonesian rupiah, 000. Students travel by scooter. They hang out in cafes that stay open till midnight. They study in parks, near mosques, by beaches. Even exams feel calm compared to the chaos outside. Foreign students often gather in communities like ISEC IST or Erasmus Plus partners. Events mix karaoke, gamelan, and volunteering. In the Indonesian way, learning isn't just individual, it's shared. Scholarships and support. Money shouldn't stop learning, and in Indonesia, it often doesn't. The Dharmasiswa Scholarship government program offers 1 year of fully funded language and cultural study. The Indonesian International Student Mobility Awards, ISMA, supports global exchange with monthly stipends and free tuition. For postgraduate research, LPP scholarships cover full costs for local and foreign students, including living expenses and travel. In 2025, Indonesia's education budget reached 660 trillion Indonesian rupiah, about US $42 billion, one of the largest in Southeast Asia. The message is clear. Education is not an expense. It's an investment in national soul. Student visa and part-time work. International students need a student Kitas visa, issued for 1 year, renewable. You'll need an acceptance letter from an accredited university, proof of funds around US $2,000 per year. Health insurance. Students can apply for permission to work part-time, up to 20 hours per week. Common jobs. Teaching English, helping with social media, working in cafes or tourism. Average pay, Rp 40 to 60,000 an hour, enough to cover meals and transport. But here, experience matters more than income. The goal isn't profit, it's presence, language, and communication. Indonesia's Language Bahasa Indonesia is one of the easiest in Asia to learn. Thank you is Terima Kasih. Good morning is Selamat Pagi. Hello is Halo. Simple and sincere, but understanding goes deeper than words. Respect is expressed through tone, not volume. Smiling is part of grammar. Foreign students find that even with broken Bahasa, a kind gesture speaks fluently. Graduation and the future. Graduation is a festival. Families travel from villages, bringing flowers, gifts, and laughter. Degrees open doors, slowly but surely. International graduates can apply for a one-year stay permit to seek employment or start projects. Salaries start around 6 to 10 million Indonesian rupiah per month, $400 to $600. Not much, but in Indonesia, opportunity grows with time and trust. Those who stay, they don't just earn, they evolve. They learn patience, resilience, and the quiet art of belonging. Closing reflection. To study in Indonesia is to study humility. The education system is not perfect, but the lessons are priceless. You learn that intelligence means nothing without empathy. That community matters more than competition. That time is elastic, but growth is constant. In classrooms of bamboo and steel, the next generation is learning to carry both history and hope. And that's the true test of learning. Not what you remember, but what you respect. This is The Learners, a journey through classrooms, language, and dreams. Health is the quiet strength of a nation. In Indonesia, it's not perfect, but it's improving slowly, steadily, together. The system. Indonesia's healthcare system is called BPJS Kesehatan, a national insurance program for every citizen and legal resident. It began humbly. Today, more than 245 million people are registered. It's one of the largest public health programs on Earth. Monthly premiums start around 42 Indonesian rupiah 000, less than $3. Private workers pay a little more. Companies contribute half. Coverage includes doctor visits, hospital care, surgery, maternity, and medicine. It's not luxury, it's security. Hospitals are improving, especially in big cities. Jakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, Denpasar. But in rural islands, equipment can be limited. Private clinics offer faster service at higher cost. A basic consultation, 200,000 Indonesian rupiah, 350,000, $13 to $23. Insurance for foreigners. Foreigners can join BPJS with a residence permit, KITAS or KITAP, or choose private insurance. Companies like Cigna, Allianz, Prudential serve expats nationwide. A good private plan costs about 1 to 2 million Indonesian rupiah per month, $65 to $130. Most include evacuation coverage to Singapore in case of serious illness. It's a system built on cooperation, government effort plus community trust. Public health and prevention. Indonesia learned its lessons the hard way, from tsunamis, volcanoes, and pandemics. Vaccination rates are rising. 95% for measles, 93% for polio. Malaria has fallen by half since 2010. Community clinics, called puskesmas, serve as the front line. Every district has one. They run on local care and trust. Traditional medicine still thrives. Jamu, herbal drinks from turmeric, ginger, and honey, remain daily rituals. Health here means balance. Body, mind, spirit. Emergency response is getting faster. Jakarta's 112 hotline links to ambulances and fire services. Response time is almost equal to 10 minutes in cities, longer in villages. Ambulance rides cost around Rp 250 000, 500 000, $16 to $33. Major hospitals have 24-hour emergency units and English-speaking staff. Still, travel insurance is recommended for tourists. Safety and crime. Indonesia feels safe. Safer than many expect. Crime rates remain low. Homicide rate is almost equal to 0.5 per 100,000 people. Petty theft exists, but violence is rare. Bali and Jogja welcome millions of solo travelers yearly. Most leave with stories, not scars. The real threats are natural, not human. Natural disasters and preparedness. Indonesia sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, they're part of the geography and the psyche. The country faces about 5,000 earthquakes each year, most small, some strong. But disaster education is routine. Schools run evacuation drills. Communities build early warning systems. When Mount Merapi rumbles, people don't panic. They prepare. Every family keeps a go bag, torch, water, radio, rice. Nature teaches discipline here and humility. Cleanliness and public health. Cities are improving. Jakarta's river cleanup continues into 2025. Bali bans single-use plastics. In most neighborhoods, you'll see morning sweeps, locals cleaning streets together. They call it Kerja Bakti, community work. Tap water is not potable yet. Most homes use filter gallons for drinking. But food safety and sanitation have improved rapidly. 4.8 mental health. For a long time, mental health was taboo. Now it's talked about. The government has opened more than 600 mental health centers nationwide. Hotlines and apps like Sehat Jiwa connect people to counselors. Private therapy sessions cost about 250 Indonesian rupiah 400,000 each, 17 to 26 US dollars. Social media and COVID sparked a new awareness that healing is not weakness, it's courage. Trust and togetherness. Health and safety in Indonesia aren't just policies. They're people. The doctor who listens longer than he speaks. The neighbor who brings soup when you're sick. The community that rebuilds after a storm. Protection here comes from presence. You feel in the way people say, hati-hati, be careful. Not because they doubt you, because they care. In Indonesia, health is shared. Safety is a habit, and trust is medicine. The Traveler, Tourism and Discovery in Indonesia, 2025. To travel Indonesia is to move through 1,000 worlds in one nation. Every island is a different heartbeat. Every smile a different story. A land of many islands. 17,000 islands. Over 300 ethnic groups. More than 700 languages. In 2025, Indonesia welcomed 16 million international visitors. Tourism contributes around 5.5% of GDP. From Bali's beaches to Java's volcanoes. From Sumatra's rainforests to Papua's tribal mountains. The nation breathes adventure. The famous five. Bali, the island of the gods. Temples rise from rice terraces. Surfers chase gold sunsets. Canggu for digital nomads. Ubud for spiritual seekers. Seminyak for luxury and laughter. Java, home to Jakarta's neon chaos and Yogyakarta's heritage. Climb Mount Bromo at dawn. Walk the streets of Kota Tua at dusk. Sumatra, untamed and green. Here lives the endangered orangutan and the mighty Lake Toba. A crater so vast it creates its own clouds. Sulawesi, diver's heaven. The coral triangle glows beneath the waves. Papua, raw, ancient, majestic. Tribes, mountains, and rain that never ends. Each region is a continent of its own. Moving through the islands. Travel here is both journey and art. Domestic flights, 700,000 Indonesian rupiah to 1 Indonesian rupiah, 200,000, 40 to 80 US dollars. Fast boats, 250,000 Indonesian rupiah between Bali and the Gili Islands. Trains, link Java's cities, comfortable, cheap, punctual. Scooters, Rp 100,000 a day for freedom on 2 wheels. The new Jakarta Bandung high-speed railway, the first in Southeast Asia, cuts a 3-hour trip to just 40 minutes. Infrastructure is growing. So is ease. Where to stay? Choices fit every dream and budget. Hostels, 150,000 Indonesian rupiah a night, 10 US dollars. Mid-range hotels, 500,000 Indonesian rupiah, $33. Beach villas with pools, 1.5 to 3 million Indonesian rupiah, $100 to $200. Even on a budget, expect Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and kindness. Hospitality here isn't trained, it's born. Food, is everywhere. Warung serve nasi goreng, satay, and mie ayam for $1 plate. Markets overflow with mango, durian, and spices. Coffee is culture, Sumatran, Toraja, or Kopi Luwak. Seasons and nature. Indonesia has 2 seasons, wet and dry. Dry season, May to October, sun, surf, and festivals. Rainy season, November to April, heavy clouds and lush green. Temperatures stay steady, around 30 degrees Celsius year-round. The rain doesn't ruin days. It cleans them. Festivals and faith. Culture here celebrates life. Nyepi and Ball, the day of silence. The entire island stops. Airports close. Even the waves seem to pause. Ramadan and Eid Fitri. Families reunite across the nation. Every month brings a ritual. Every ritual brings joy. Digital nomads and remote living. Bali has become a global village of creators. In 2025, more than 150,000 digital nomads work from Indonesia. Co-working spaces like Dojo and Outpost buzz with designers and writers. Internet speeds reach 200 megabits per second in major hubs. The digital nomad visa offers up to 5 years of stay tax-free on foreign income. Few countries in the world offer that freedom under a tropical sky. Beyond Bali lies the quiet truth of Indonesia. Labuan Bajo, Flores, gateway to Komodo National Park. Dragons roam, reefs glow, and sunsets bleed orange. Raja Ampat, Papua Barat, the best diving in the world. Over 600 species of coral, 500 fish. Tourism and sustainability. Indonesia has learned that beauty needs balance. The government plans to grow tourism while protecting nature. 10 new Balis, eco-destinations like Lake Toba and Labuan Bajo. Plastic bags banned nationwide. Community projects replant mangroves and coral. In Bali, locals say, don't just take photos. Take responsibility. Sustainability here isn't trend. It's tradition, the experience. To travel Indonesia is to reconnect. You'll see chaos and traffic and find order and kindness. You'll stand before temples older than memory. You'll share a meal for $1 and feel richer than you've ever been. Indonesia isn't a vacation. It's a vibration. It stays in you long after you leave. This is The Traveler, the journey through islands of light and soul. Next, we look behind the smile and face the shadows. The challenges that shape Indonesia's strength. Challenges of perfection and growth in Indonesia. Every paradise hides its shadows. Behind Indonesia's warmth lies quiet struggle. To love this country is to see both the light and the storm. Population pressure. 279 million people, growing by 3 million each year. Cities swell. Vidajanti, Jakarta, the heart and the headache. By 2030, it could be the world's most crowded megacity. Floods rise. Land sinks. That's why a new capital is being built in Borneo, Nusantara. A smart green city born from necessity. A new beginning and a massive test. Economy and inequality. The economy grows around 5.2% a year. But growth is not always shared. The top 10% own over 3/4 of the nation's wealth. Millions still earn less than 2 million Indonesian rupiah a month, about $125. In Jakarta, shopping malls shine beside tin roof homes. In Bali, luxury resorts stand next to rice fields struggling for water. Prices of imported goods climb. Inflation, 2.8% in 2024, feels heavier for the poor. Still, hope remains stronger than anger. Climate and environment. Indonesia is beautiful and fragile. The nation loses about 650,000 hectares of forest each year. Floods and landslides hit Java and Sumatra annually. Air pollution in Jakarta is among the worst in Asia. Yet change is coming. New solar farms, Electric buses, community plastic-free movements from Bali to Lombok. Nature tests Indonesia daily. But so far, the nation keeps answering with action. Corruption and governance. Progress is steady, but corruption remains a shadow on growth. In 2024, Transparency International ranked Indonesia 115 of 180 countries. Better than a decade ago, but still a long road ahead. The Anti-Corruption Commission, the KPK, fights daily against old habits. Every reform meets resistance. Change here is never loud. It's a whisper that refuses to die. Education and employment gap. Half of graduates still struggle to find formal jobs. Youth unemployment stands around 13%. Vocational programs try to bridge the gap. Coding, agriculture, tourism. But many young people move abroad for better chances. Indonesia is rich in talent, but still learning how to keep it. Infrastructure and islands. Building across 17,000 islands is a logistical miracle. New toll roads stretch across Java and Sumatra. Ports expand. Fiber optic lines crawl through mountains. But remote Papua still waits for hospitals and stable power. Equal development is a dream in progress. Social challenges. Indonesia is modern and traditional. Women now hold 22% of parliament seats, a record. But gender equality remains uneven. Child marriage and domestic violence still exist, though declining thanks to new laws and education. LGBTQ+ rights are limited. Urban tolerance grows, rural resistance stays. Society is changing, slowly, quietly, courageously. Loneliness and mental health. In the rush of progress, many feel alone. Jakarta is loud, but isolation echoes in apartments. Social media connects and divides at once. Depression and anxiety cases rose 35% since 2019, but so did awareness. Online therapy apps like Relive and Mindterra reach millions. Young voices speak openly now, and that is healing itself. Resilience. For every problem, there's a counterstory of hope. When volcanoes erupt, neighbors rebuild together. When floods come, mosques turn into shelters. When prices rise, families share rice and laughter. Indonesia's real power isn't its GDP. It's its gratitude. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. The nation still faces poverty, pollution, and politics, but it also holds one of the strongest spirits on earth. Each day is a balancing act between modern dreams and ancient wisdom. Every journey teaches, but Indonesia transforms. It doesn't change you loudly. It changes you patiently. Here, you learn that life moves at its own rhythm. Sometimes slow, sometimes unpredictable, but always alive. Lessons from the islands. You learn patience in Jakarta's traffic. You learn gratitude from villagers who smile with little. You learn respect in temples that have stood for centuries. You discover that chaos can coexist with peace, and that discipline doesn't need anger, only intention. Indonesia shows that happiness isn't built on wealth. It's built on warmth. The people here measure success in connection, not competition. Every terima kasih carries meaning. Every gesture, a silent prayer for balance. The heart of the nation. This archipelago isn't held together by roads or borders. It's held by something softer and stronger. Gotong royong, mutual help. When floods come, neighbors rebuild. When sickness spreads, communities cook for each other. When strangers meet, they share laughter before names. Unity isn't a slogan. It's a habit. And in 2025, as technology grows and cities rise, that ancient habit keeps the nation human. The traveler's reflection. If you stay long enough, you stop being a tourist. You start being a student. You learn to say less and notice more. You start greeting with your heart, not your mouth. You stop chasing perfection and start living presence. In the rhythm of rain on tin roofs, in the smoke of street satay, in the hum of motorbikes at dawn, you find beauty in the ordinary, and you realize Indonesia isn't just a place, it's a feeling. the farewell. And now, as the journey ends, take a moment, breathe, remember what you've seen, the dream, the reality, the learners, the care, the traveler, the shadow, all pieces of one living story. Indonesia, a nation still learning, still healing, still smiling. You came searching for paradise. You found humanity. You came for beaches. You stayed for belonging. If this story touched you, don't just watch. Be part of it. Like this film, so more people see the truth behind the beauty. Share it with someone who dreams of Indonesia. For more cinematic journeys that reveal the world through empathy and light. Your support keeps these stories alive and keeps curiosity traveling. Take a deep breath. Remember, perfection isn't the destination. Care is. Indonesia teaches this without words. Through smiles, patience, and faith. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. This has been The Observer. Thank you for traveling through Indonesia. The dream, the reality, and the heart.